Nithyanandam everyone, it's the Kundalini Yogini or Prasiddha. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys haven't yet subscribed, make sure to do so to follow my spiritual journey and my insights and advices about what I have learned, and just kind of opening up and sharing that with all of you guys is really the point of my channel. So going back to that central theme, I wanted to kind of get a little personal today and open up to you guys about my spiritual journey. And how basically I've changed in the last 3 years that my journey really took off. Actually, probably I should say 4 years since my spiritual journey really started. When I moved to Ecuador is when I actually first started diving into my spiritual journey. If you guys want to hear a little more about that, you can watch some of my first videos on my channel. I share a little bit about more where I was at that time and how it all started. But today I just wanted to dive in with you guys about how I guess my life has changed and how it hasn't, and how, you know, spirituality has actually affected my day-to-day life. And I actually got this inspiration from a few of my followers. I had posted on Instagram. If you guys don't follow me there, make sure to do so. My Instagram is Prasiddhananda. I'll tag it down below so you guys can get that. I know it's kind of a mouthful. But I had asked what video topics I should do next. And I noticed a lot of people were interested in hearing about me and just kind of getting a little more personal about my journey, my life, and how these things actually affect me as a real person. And I was even thinking the other day that I'd like to make a video getting a little more personal, because I know sometimes it can get a little lost in the content, and I want to make sure that throughout my channel I'm maintaining that authenticity and that relationship with you guys, because that's the whole entire point of my channel. That's why I made it. That's why I started it, so I never want to lose that. And then, you know, the tricky thing is with YouTube, in case you guys haven't really noticed, if you aren't a long-time subscriber, you're only seeing that one video of that person, right? So unless you're my subscriber and you've been following all my videos and watching my journey, you know who I am. But for someone who just watches 1 or 2 or even 3 videos, they may not know. But I want to make sure that throughout my videos, you can still get to know me, even if you just watch one, right? So that's kind of the goal. I'm trying to work towards that, and kind of how I can show who I am throughout my videos a little more as I go along. So definitely keep keeping me in check, guys. Always let me know if you feel like something's getting lost, or how I can improve. I really want to keep doing that and maintaining that, you know, authenticity and integrity with what I'm doing here on my channel. But yeah, to get into the topic. Man, it's kind of a tough one to tackle, but how my life has changed in the past few years, having spirituality integrated into it, I would say the number one thing I have to say in a positive way, how it's changed, is powerfulness. I think a lot of times on the spiritual journey, it's easy to get stuck at that kind of happiness, peace level. But luckily, my fate got a little intervened by my guru. He found me, and I found him. My guru Swamiji, Paramahamsa Nithyananda. If you guys aren't familiar with my references to him yet, definitely make sure to check out his YouTube channel. That is where everything started for me. Really. Learning that powerfulness that comes with Hinduism, that comes with Sanatana Hindu Dharma, is why first of all, why I consider myself a Hindu today, why I still follow Hinduism, and why I kind of landed at Hinduism as my final destination. Although still it's not a destination yet, it's a continuing journey, but why I didn't end up, you know, in Buddhism or something else. Because that idea of powerfulness, man, that has been the biggest thing for me. So, for example, I used to be an extremely anxious person, especially when it came to social situations. And I would say the biggest way this affected me in my life was how much I valued myself only based on how others valued me. I gave all of my power away in my relationships on other people's opinions of me. So I was really good at maintaining that image, actually, in terms of always, you know, pleasing people and being the nice girl and, you know, always making people happy, being silly, all that stuff. But, right, there's always going to be times where people aren't happy with you, don't like you for some reason, whether it's you or them, whatever. And when my friends or someone I really cared about would get upset with me, this would throw me into a very dark place, into a very dark spiral. And I put so much weight on their value of me, their opinions of me, and I wasn't stable inside myself. That is the biggest value I've learned, I think, by far, through my spiritual journey, is that stability inside of me and that strength in knowing who I am, what I want, what I need, what I'm looking for, where I'm going, and knowing also when I don't have the answers, but knowing that I am a beautiful being, and I'm much more than anything I even understand of me. Anything I attribute to me is also not really a summary of who I am. Anything others attribute to me is not a summary of who I am. That I go much beyond all of that, beyond even my understanding of me, especially, right? But that strength in not giving away my power, I feel so empowered now. And it's not that I don't go through, I still go through so many things. I'm going to really be opening up with that in the next few videos with you guys about that. But I still go through so many difficult things in my life. And in case you guys aren't familiar also, I did not have any like type of easy or perfect upbringing or childhood. I've gone through a lot of things in my life. I'm sure all of you guys have too. I don't really talk about it too much because I don't like to focus on the negativity so much in that storyline. But I think it's good to open up so you guys know what I've experienced and also what I've healed from, what I've grown from, and what I actually still have so much gratitude for happening to me in my life. Some of which is I was, raised by an alcoholic, a drug addict. I had many abuses in my life, including sexual, a lot of trauma from that, and I've overcome it. And I'm stronger and happier and I'm empowered, and all of that is a part of me too. All of that is a good part of me, a beautiful part of me. And that is a key thing which spirituality has helped me with and helps me with every day. Is those hard things inside of me, those hard things I've been through, those hard things I see in the world. I really would not be able to handle them without my spiritual foundation, my spiritual beliefs. If I did not believe the fundamental principles of life, which is taught in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, means there is a cosmos, there is a cosmic intelligence, an independent intelligence which runs the universe. Some of us call it God, Sadashiva, the ultimate, right, the source. And there is the individual soul, Jagat, who is placed in multiple different bodies all over, and there is rebirth, there is reincarnation to go through the cycle of remembering that we are that same source, that same ultimate. Those fundamental spiritual principles, with those in my life, I'm really able to grasp so many hard things, so many things which humans struggle with every day, which I still struggle with, and used to struggle with even more when I didn't have these understandings. Things like even death, suffering, why pain exists, why trauma exists, why so many different things which we feel are very heavy, negative, bad things, why they go on in the world, why they happen the way they do. I can really grasp these from a larger cosmic understanding of them, which allows me to not only get a hold on them in my day-to-day life, in these situations when they're happening, but also to able to, especially in hindsight, right, to look back and have gratitude for those situations happening, seeing how they formed me, why they were placed in front of me, how they actually were a gift in showing me what, some blind spot, somewhere I needed to grow, all of these things. And really kind of strengthening that core belief that I do have and continue to have, which is that everything happens for a reason. Everything is a divine play. Everything is auspicious. It is extremely intelligent, whatever, in all that is happening to you at every moment. There is an intelligence to everything that happens to you, and nothing happens by accident or even coincidence. And that purpose, I think, ultimately is to raise you, is to evolve us, is to bring us to the next level. So every single situation that happens, having that kind of perspective and understanding on it always helps me. And I think that's one of the strongest foundations which I've been able to integrate into my life, but I'm still working on. Sometimes I do forget still in my delusion, in my Maya, when I'm going through a lot of pain. I'll forget that for a moment, right? But I'm usually able to come back to it quicker and quicker, as the more that it integrates inside of me as my belief and my truth. But yeah, to get a little real too, I mean, some things haven't changed. I still struggle with the same patterns I used to struggle with. those big patterns which repeat in our life over and over again, I still got a lot of those. One of which is what we call a root pattern with Swamiji, is like basically the first time you ever felt a negative emotion, incompletion. My root pattern is that I'm not worthy of love. That feeling of a deep aloneness. I see this triggered still in my life. I see this triggered in my relationships, in my marriage, and so many different things where this pattern still comes out for me. And I think this is definitely still the one I'm working on the most, the one I need to work on the most. And it still gets triggered. I still get insecure sometimes. I still really feel isolated a lot of times, even in communities and groups with friends and family. I notice that comes up in me. I guess the difference is, though, I have awareness to it, right? Instead of it just happening unconsciously, at least now I am conscious of it, right? That's the next step. And the next step is to completely heal of that. And I've been shedding layers and layers off, like a reptile, shedding some skin. But I still got skin to shed. I still got a ways to go, Honestly, those things still come up for me. But yeah, the biggest, I'm trying to think, what else? One thing, I was talking to my beautiful best friend Kaylee a while ago, maybe a year or two ago, about how I've changed throughout all this, because she knew me before I kind of started my spiritual journey too. And I liked what I said to her, because it summed it up really well. And that was, I said, it's not that things don't happen to me anymore, that I don't go through things, all of that, right? But now that I'm in the world, I'm there, instead of being in the world and being affected by it, being moved by it, being pushed and pulled by it, being, brought on this path, brought on this train or plane or car or whatever, getting pushed and pulled around by it, by the matrix, what we call the matrix, right? Now I'm there, but it's like all of those things are happening around me, but none of them touch me anymore. And I really, I always remember how I said that, because that is a really good way to explain what I kind of feel like now in the world. Is that it's a lot of that observer state where I notice so many happenings around me, but I don't feel like they pull me anymore, or they push me down anymore, or they weigh on me anymore. I used to be one that got so weighed down by negative happenings like tragedies and pain and suffering, because I'm an extremely empathetic person naturally. Actually, that just inspired me. I think I'm going to make my next video on empaths, because that is probably the strongest quality in me, which I knew kind of separated me, made me one of those kind of different people, because I've been empathetic to the next level since I can remember, where I remember one time literally I was walking through the airport and there was a girl I didn't know at all, stranger, crying. I overheard her conversation with one of the flight attendants saying she was on standby and she was trying to get back to her college to take an exam, and she missed that standby flight, so she was crying. So nothing even that big of a deal. And I saw her crying and I just started crying so much. I just immediately felt what she was feeling as I was walking by her. So my whole life this has kind of been something I actually struggled with, right? There's a positive side to it, but also a negative side to it. I got so affected by the world around me. And now I actually still, of course, maintain that quality, but working towards not letting it weigh me and sink me down so much. That's been the breakthrough for me. And honestly, the biggest deliverer of these really powerful cognitions, which have actually stuck with me and become a part of my life in actuality, my day-to-day, everyday, usable, user-friendly kind of spirituality, has been through my guru Swamiji, through Paramahamsa Nithyananda. What I learned through him over the years, but especially when I went and saw him for the first time at a program called Inner Awakening. You guys might have heard me talk about it before. It's a 21-day, actually now it's a little longer, I think it's 25 days, yoga meditation retreat, which is much more than just yoga and meditation. And it's with a living master, with an avatar, an incarnation. That energy field, that is what's special about it, honestly. It's not the yoga and the meditation, although that's amazing too. What happens to you in his space, that's the craziest thing to witness. The healing, what gets pulled out of you, the healing, then after the healing, the empowerment, that step is the most important step of my journey by far. And I feel really blessed to have experienced what I have in the last 4 years, and been able to go to so many places and meet so many people and learn so many things. But I also know I'm still a baby. I still got so much to learn on this journey of life. A long ways to go, but also no ways to go, right? There's no end goal really, other than enlightenment itself. But that can happen in an instant. The most interesting thing I've learned about it is that it's literally a decision. Like, you can just decide I'm enlightened and be enlightened, but it's about actually keeping that integrity to that decision and staying with it is the hard thing, right? Which we can't really do so easily. But it's true. It's actually nothing more than a decision. So we'll see. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and decide. But thank you guys for listening to me ramble if you made it this far. And yeah, I'll really dive in. If you guys have any specific questions, or there's like one route which you'd like me to go down, getting more in depth with you guys and opening up a little bit more, I definitely will. I'm very willing to share more. And I hope this was a little insightful and helped you get to know me better. And I hope I can also keep opening up with you guys and keeping that beautiful relationship. You guys have been amazing support for me. Really, I couldn't have asked for better. I've had really a lack of negativity, which has been beautiful. So much less than I expected, actually. So thank you guys so much for being such a beautiful support for me. And yeah, continue to reach out and open up. Let me know what else you want me to dive into, and what I can help you with also. If there's any topic you really need help with, something which you need help with in your life, that's like ultimately the goal of what I'm here for. So thank you guys so much. And as always, stay tuned and be blissful. See you soon.